Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Very cheeky of you. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, today's first story comes from Relevant Artichoke 24 and says, am I the arsehole for refusing to thank my sister-in-law because she had to babysit her own kids? My 22 female brother, 35 male, surprised me 6 months ago by planning a trip to Scotland for my birthday. He knew I've never travelled before and wanted to take me to my dream country. Due to tight finances, it was just the two of us, which I was okay with, since at the time, him and I were close. For context, my brother is married and has 2 kids under 6. His wife, 34 female, had said she was happy for me and didn't mind holding down the fort for a week while we're on the trip. Her and I have never been close and quite frankly just tolerate each other for the sake of keeping the peace. She's never been a fan of how close my siblings are with each other. It all comes down to growing up in different family dynamics in my opinion. Anyway, the trip was amazing and I loved every second of it. I was on such a high when we came back that I thanked my brother so many times for doing this for me until he told me to shut up. I thought everything was good and we resumed our lives normally. Imagine my surprise when I get a text 3 days after coming back from my sister-in-law telling me off, calling me rude and ungrateful because I didn't send her a text thanking her for babysitting on her own and having to do everything around her house for a whole week while I had fun with her husband. Yep, that's exactly how she's worded it. I was flabbergasted. This is the same woman who smiled and told me to have fun on my trip, and now she's berating me for not thanking her for doing me a favor by taking care of her kids for a week. Am I crazy or is that totally irrational and just weird? I told her I'm not sure taking care of your own children is babysitting or doing someone else a favor. And she blew up at me calling me a terrible, ungrateful brat and that I never show appreciation for anything. I was so confused by all of this and called my brother, but he doubled down and told me the trip wouldn't have been possible had she not volunteered to take care of the kids, so we can have fun and that I should be thanking her for doing this for me. I was and still am confused on why I need to thank a mother for taking care of her own kids. Anyway, to keep the peace, I told her thanks for doing it, but she decided I wasn't being sincere and convinced my brother to go low contact with me. My siblings and mum were confused by all of this, but keep telling me to just bite my tongue and not stir the pot any further. But I'm just hurt and confused. My relationship with my brother has been strained since and is taking a toll on me. I just need outside opinions because I'm genuinely confused on whether or not I'm the arsehole in this whole mess. Edit. I can't reply to everyone, so let me clear up a few things I feel I should have included. They do not share finances. She's never spent any money on anything related to me. Also, last year she took a trip with her siblings abroad as well, and no, I don't know if her siblings thanked my brother for watching his kids. Finances were tight as in my brother was paying out of his own pocket and wouldn't have been able to take anyone else with us. Plus, this trip was a birthday gift, not a family trip, so no one was expected to join. I did thank them both when I was first told about the trip, and I asked my brother if he was sure it was okay for us to go, and he assured me we were set and I only needed to have fun. I later learned that she didn't contribute anything to the trip, and she said she wouldn't have wanted to take a trip with me anyway. Hope this clears some things up. This one's quite simple to me in that she should have been talking to her husband and not you at all in this. You don't need to thank someone for parenting their own children. As I said, if she had an issue, talk to her husband, that's between them. Not something to guilt you about after the fact. And now she's successfully using this to drive a wedge between you and your brother, which could have been her goal all along. Peace, love, and zombie says not the arsehole. That's between you and your husband would have been my only reply. Firm Commission says, not the arsehole. If anything, he should be the one thanking her for taking care of their kids. You got invited to go, and it was a gift to you. I've never been thanked for watching my kids, lol, which I agree and understand it's a lot of work, but she's also agreed to do it so you guys could go. I don't think you're the arsehole here. Wanda says, not the arsehole. His absence made her life harder, and she resents it after the fact. So, sometime later, OP came in with her update and they said, thank you to everyone for the insights on my previous post. The The post kind of blew up in a way I wasn't expecting, and the responses were overwhelming, but I now understand that I did not react correctly to her text. This is a long update, since a lot has happened. To clear up a few things before I continue with this update, a lot of you are fixated on the fact that I said finances are tight. I didn't mean their overall finances. They have separate finances, and from my understanding, they only share finances when it comes to their household and kids. Anything else they pay from their own pockets and don't interfere in what they spend their money on, as long as the kids are good and the household is running smoothly. So, since my brother was paying for this trip on his own, he couldn't take many people with him, as that would put a bigger financial burden on his personal savings. They're doing fine financially. They take family trips once a year. I did thank them both when I was initially told about the trip. My sister-in-law later made a snide comment about how this was all my brother and she didn't contribute to the trip at all. Last year, sister-in-law and her siblings went on their own trip while my brother took care of everything, and he was fine with it. My family dynamic is apparently confusing you guys, but we're 5 siblings that are very close and hang out regularly and have a close bond with our mum, especially since our dad passed away. We're from an Asian country, and the culture here and the bonds between families are different from the West. To those who said maybe she's salty I'm getting a trip when I've never helped them out, I babysat my sister-in-law's babies for 5 days a week for months each time her maternity leave ended. And each time they stopped needing me to help out, only my brother thanks me, and that's fine with me. Sister-in-law has never thanked me or my siblings for anything we do for them. She says the fact that we're so eager and willing to drop everything to take care of each other is weird and unhealthy. I did thank her once I realized I should just keep the peace and tell her what she wanted to hear. Still, she didn't accept my thank you after I made the babysitting your own kids comment. I understand I was an arsehole for saying that now, since a lot of you pointed out that it was rude and that I'm not a mother and don't get it. But to be fair, her texts were full of insults. She kept doubling down on the fact that she was stuck babysitting because of me. Many of you asked why I wasn't offered the tickets and went on my own. In our culture, women, especially young ones, don't travel on their own without either a family member or their husbands. It's not about control, but more about protection for us. So going on my own wouldn't have been an option. On to the update. Strap in, this is a long one. So I talked with my mum to better understand the situation. Since many of you said I'm not a mother and don't get it, and she said my sister-in-law worded it wrong, but maybe she just wanted gratitude for helping my brother out, because being a parent isn't easy. I understand that I reacted to her messages wrong when I could have just said a simple thank you. But neither I or my mum understand why she was so aggressive towards me in her texts. The aggression is what made me become so defensive. I found out from my siblings and my mum that my brother only paid for the tickets and the accommodations, and that my eldest brother is the one that provided the pocket money for food and buying stuff on the trip, and that my siblings chipped in but didn't want the credit since my brother wanted this trip to be like a thank you for helping them out so much with their kids over the years, and that he had cleared it with his wife and she'd give him the go-ahead. She also told me that she had asked sister-in-law if she wanted to come with us on the trip and leave their kids with my mum. He was fine with that, but she declined as she and I aren't close and it would have been weird for the both of us. My mum told me that my brother actually asked her to check in every day with sister-in-law to make sure all was well and to see if she needed anything. She also said my brother asked sister-in-law's sisters to check on her as well. It turns out sister-in-law had taken the week off of work. I didn't know that, and for 4 out of the 7 days we were in Scotland, she dropped their kids off at my mum's, and the other 3 days when my mum called, sister-in-law said she had her sisters with her and didn't need any help. So what the hell was she so mad about? It's clear to me that she wasn't abandoned by my brother, as some of you suggested. My siblings initially wanted to just keep the peace, but after I showed them my sister-in-law's texts, they were surprised and appalled by her words. They thought this whole thing was a simple misunderstanding and now understand that it had become bigger and that my brother and I aren't talking. My sister decided to investigate and called my brother to understand what happened. And it turns out my sister-in-law told him that my mum and siblings didn't check on her at all, which is a lie. My sister even dropped off food for them twice, and that the kids were upset that their dad left them and were throwing tantrums all the time. Also, probably not true, and that this wasn't what they had agreed on when he told her about the trip months ago. He was too busy trying to calm my sister-in-law down to confirm with the family whether or not it was true. My sister then asked him if he'd seen the text his wife had sent me, and he said he hadn't, but That sister-in-law told him she just asked me for a simple thank you for all of her hard work, and that I blew up at her and told her she didn't deserve anything since she didn't pay for the trip and that she was entitled. He said he was hesitant about believing that since he knows I'd never outright disrespect someone like that, even if I don't get along with them. But she insisted that it happened and that she had no reason to lie, and as her husband, she needed his support, not his questioning. And that's why he sent me the text saying I needed to thank her. My sister then let my brother know about everything that happened and told him, more like demanded, that they apologize to me, which I didn't think was necessary. I just wanted my brother to talk to me again, and he sounded upset and told her he'd figure this out after talking to his wife. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Sister-in-law and my brother had a massive fight, and he demanded to know why she lied and caused so much drama. And she broke down and told him that he was too close to me and my siblings and that she hated how the whole family babied me. I'm the youngest, and that his siblings' relationship with each other made her uncomfortable, and she just wanted him to put a little distance between himself and us, because her family isn't as close to each other, and kept telling her our close dynamic is weird and toxic. He told her behavior is unacceptable and that she caused a rift between not only him and I, but also him and the rest of his siblings as well, because now they're mad at him. My brother did call me, and he apologized for doubling down on what his wife said. He said it was already tense in their house and he was just trying to keep the peace and be supportive, but he shouldn't have treated me this way when deep down he knew I wasn't at fault. He also let me know that for the time being, sister-in-law will go no contact with my siblings and I, while they go to marriage counseling and sister-in-law goes to therapy because her behavior wasn't normal. He sounded exhausted and defeated, and I just told him we're all here for him if he needs us. He made it clear that the no contact is only for my sister-in-law and assured me he won't limit his contact with me, and apologized for doing so without even talking to me first. I asked him if he'd like me to reach out to her and apologize for what I said and give her a sincere thank you, but he said no. That it was never about the gratitude to begin with, that it's apparently a bigger issue between them that they need to figure out on their own, that we shouldn't contact sister-in-law unless she reaches out first, as she doesn't want to have any contact with us. He also apologized for her language with me on the text, but I told him not to worry about it. Safe to say, sister-in-law's relationship with us is never going to be the same again after this, and to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of hers, but I was civil and polite to her in the past because my brother loves her, and we've never had any issues prior to this. I do feel really guilty that this all happened because of the trip planned for me, but my siblings keep telling me it's not my fault. My mum says I should have just thanked my sister-in-law and kept the peace instead of having all this blow up so much, but my siblings told her that even if I had apologized, it wouldn't have mattered as my sister-in-law would have found something else to cause a problem. But they also told me what a lot of you had mentioned in the comments, that saying thank you was the polite thing to do, and that taking care of the kids full-time is not the same as babysitting them for a few hours, and it would have been good to tell her she's appreciated. But they understand that I don't have the understanding of what it means to be a parent, and that having someone basically verbally attack me wouldn't have made me reciprocate with kindness. And I get it. I was ignorant about it, and I acknowledge that. There are lots more details, but that's the gist of it. Brother and sister-in-law's marriage is strained right now, and so is his relationship with us, but I hope that everything works out okay. I really love my brother and hate seeing him so defeated. Part of me wishes we never went on that trip because all this drama is draining. To clarify something, the only reason I was questioning the whole I babysat my kids as a favor to you is because I always see people criticizing fathers who say that and calling them out because kids are the parents' responsibility and not a chore or a favor for anyone. I thought this applied to both mothers and fathers, but perhaps I was mistaken because my only point of reference on this topic is what I see on the internet, as I'm not a mum. And since a lot of you have said I'm the arsehole and that she deserved a thank you and a gift, I messed up the thank you part, but I did buy her a magnet for their fridge since she likes to collect them. I went a little crazy and bought back little souvenirs for myself and everyone else as well. And it would have been weird and rude to give her kids gifts and not her, so I got every single family member a small Scottish themed present. I was excited about being in Scotland. Thank you all for your insights and advice. I really appreciate it, whether you thought I was or wasn't the arsehole. All your opinions put things into perspective for me. Some comments were outright nasty though, and I didn't think name calling was productive or necessary. But oh well, that's the internet. Also, if you saw the original post on some podcast sub, it's because my friend saw my post and told me to post it there because she's a fan of them and thinks podcasters would be entertained by it. I wasn't seeking out validation from a different sub. She was just excited by the idea that her favorite podcast might read out a post about someone she knows. She's weird, but I love her, so I did it. That's all. And we're just going to cover the top 2 comments on that one. First one said, it's not babysitting if it's your own kids. You weren't wrong. I understand there's a lot more going on, but she used you as a scapegoat and you stood up to her. That's why she doubled down and got even nastier. Good for you, by the way. Sickonat says, the dumb thing is, OP plenty of time babysat their kids. Got no thanks from sister-in-law. During the holidays, OP's mum and siblings did a ton of babysitting or assistance for sister-in-law. Sister-in-law also had a holiday without kids earlier too. And sister-in-law cracks it over wanting thanks from OP. And I think OP should just forget about all the regrets, about part of you wishes that you never went on that trip or the keeping the peace because family. Because let's face it, it would have been something else because she does not agree with the siblings' relationship. She's calling it toxic and weird. And it just seems like sister-in-law has her own issues here. And I'm glad she's getting therapy for it. Whether their relationships will work out in the future, who knows? But therapy's got to be a good step forward, right? Regardless of if you like her or not. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Eat My Pum, who says, am I the arsehole for cancelling my best friend's appointment because she owed me money? I, 22 female, have a friend, 23 female. Let's call her Jane, who owes me a lot of money. There are multiple reasons she owes me money, but the main reason is because she has yet to pay for a service I provided. I'm a hairstylist, and I took in my friend Jane for an emergency appointment. I usually use a booking software that takes down client card details, which gives me the option to charge their card if they refuse to pay after the service for no valid reason. Because this was a trusted friend, I took her in for an emergency hair service where she needed her hair done for her birthday, and I did not use my booking software because I assumed my friend would pay. I often ask for payment after the service, so when I did this, Jane said, "Oh, I thought it would be a birthday present." Which I made very clear during the appointment as I let her know she'd get the friends and family discount at my salon, which she was thrilled about. I explained and she understood that I had to charge her for my services as it's my job. However, she gets paid tomorrow. I forgave her as Jane is a very close friend and she told me she would pay me back. A week goes by and no payment. So I messaged her asking about it. She says she cannot right now but will soon. This goes on for a while and eventually I forget about it, as the service was not crazy expensive and just a root retouch. However, she's asking me for another emergency appointment and I state that she has to book from my booking website. She told me it was urgent and that she cannot wait longer than 48 hours. My website also does not let anyone book less than 48 hours in advance. She has yet to pay me for my last service, so I refuse her, and it's caused a very heated debate in our friendship. She promised to pay me back after the appointment again, but I don't trust her, as she has a pile of debt to me now, and now to my business too. Am I the arsehole for not letting her have another emergency appointment? Any advice on how to handle this? Absolutely not the arsehole. This is just someone taking advantage of your friendship. And is it your friendship she's actually valuing right now or just your services? Because she only reaches out when she needs her hair done and then disappears until the next emergency. That's not a friendship in my opinion, and we've seen it time and time again that she's treating you like an ATM with a hair salon attached. If I was in her position and a friend was chasing me for money, I would be absolutely mortified about that. Unlikely ending says not the arsehole, but you're in a no-win situation. If you don't help her, your friendship is over and you'll never get paid for the first service. If you do help her, you probably won't get paid again, or you'll end up chasing her for weeks and you'll resent her more. Either way, she doesn't sound like a very good friend. And come on, she knew she needed her roots touched up. She should have booked you 48 hours in advance for her birthday. She bypassed your system. She knew what she was doing. OP says yeah, she definitely has done similar things in the past too to get me to pay for things. The whole friendship. I'm thinking I'm taking a loss of a friend here. Thanks. Tall Hovercraft says, not the arsehole. Handle it how you already handled it. These are natural consequences of her actions, not a punishment from you. You aren't taking something away from her. You're just choosing not to go out of your way to make an exception for her. Real friends are friends without expecting perks and handouts. If she values the friendship, she'll pay you and find the time to apologize for not prioritizing it before. If she's not, she'll make excuses and be distant. Either way, I would take a step back. And one more comment from Natural Garbage, who says, not the arsehole. Say, I'm sorry, but I can't afford to work for free, and you seem to expect it. You never paid for your last emergency, so you either pay for that and prepay for this one, or you're going to have to find someone else to deal with this one. She knows exactly what she's doing. Make it clear that your refusal is a direct result of her own actions. If she wants to blow up your friendship over her own behavior, then you know she didn't respect or appreciate you as a friend. It's the absolute bloody cheek of the person as well. Can you imagine her turning up to OP's salon, sitting in the chair, having normal chit-chat, knowing that she's trying to screw her over in the way that she's doing? Like, I agree with the comment. She knows exactly what she's doing. Such weird behavior. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.